Hey, welcome to Northumberland Zoo on YouTube. My name is Maxine and I work here. Now, I'm in the Rainforest Lookout building, and I don't know if you guys have been down here since Easter holidays, but obviously this is a brand new kind of exhibit that we've got open. It's a lot more densely planted, and so far we have the agouti and the pygmy marmosets that are settling in. But this week we welcomed a brand new species, the Goeldi monkeys.
Am I allowed to carry it?
Thumb in the sky. It's a nice day, isn't it?
Did Lucy want to carry it?
You coming, Mum?
Yeah,
Hey, sweetie. How you doing? The female, Marge, is only 12 years old and she's never actually been with a male before. She came from a family group, so she's never had the opportunity to breed. Whereas the male, Luiz, is actually a widow, so he lost his lifelong partner at his previous collection and he's been on his own for quite some time. But he has sired 4 children and he's actually a granddad as well. But he's still not too old to keep breeding, so we have got our fingers crossed for this pair.
We're just going to let them settle in after their long journey, and then we'll start the introduction process over the next few days probably. I think because they're both on their own, they'll probably be quite keen to have a companion again, so I feel like it's going to go quite well. Male and female pairings usually with callitrichids goes pretty well. It's when you try and introduce multiple females to multiple males that doesn't usually go well at all. So I'm quite confident it's going to be alright.
So these guys haven't met before. So what we've done over the last couple of days is they had access through 2 visible slides, but they couldn't access each other in the middle. And then we swapped it over where we put a solid slide in to her side so that he could come into the middle and be closer to her, but they couldn't actually reach each other or touch each other. And then today we've swapped that over, so now she has access to the middle. And we found that they were doing a lot of vocalizations and sitting near the slide calling to each other. So now what we've done is just put a visual slide in between so that they can actually see each other, and hopefully we can see some positive interactions.
So they can actually touch each other through that, can't they?
They can touch each other now, yes. So what we're hoping to see is, like we're seeing some vocalizations and then maybe some grooming and things like that through the mesh with each other, and then we'll probably look at opening them up and putting them in together. We've just now closed her off, so they can see through, they can see each other again, but now she's no longer in this middle pen, so they can't actually access each other through it. She's super keen to meet him. She's a little bit too keen, I think, for his liking. He is a little bit standoffish, so they did have a moment where they met at the mesh and it was all calm, and we haven't seen any signs of aggression. We have seen a little bit of him just taking a bit of a step back, and I think it could have to do with the fact that it's been a little while since he's been with another primate. So for him, this is quite a new experience. He's got to get used to communicating and stuff again with her, whereas she has come from being with her sister, so she's really used to that interaction with another primate. He's definitely intrigued by her. You can see him kind of calling back to her, so it's really positive. I think it's just going to take him a little bit more time to get used to it, but we can keep doing what we're doing, keep taking it slow. We won't push him too quickly. The last thing we want to do is put them in together, him not know how to respond to her, and then that turn to aggression because she turns frustrated. So we'll take it nice and slow with them and just make sure that they're both ready for the next steps. These guys really need that social interaction. It's really important to them for their mental well-being, which, you know, when we talk about animals, people often don't realise that they can actually struggle with having like mental problems. So not having that stimulation from having that company from their own kind, it can really, really affect their well-being. So it isn't good for them to be on their own. This is why it's really important that we introduce these two. But as I said, we'll do it slowly so they're both very comfortable. It went really well actually. So we first of all tried the slide again and it was so positive, they were sniffing each other. So we decided to let him into her space and he came in, he started sniffing her, gave her a bit of a hug and the two of them, yeah, it's been really positive since they've been in. And then he went into the other bit and started eating out of her food bowl. She just followed and wanted to see what he was doing and they've been pretty happy.
They were super calm at the slide together and he actually was like interested in approaching her for the first time. He did that I think 3 times. So it kind of got to the point where we knew like it was the time to put them in together. And he's also been grooming her a little bit as well. So yeah, really, really good. It's nice that we brought them together and they really appreciate each other. They're not just tolerating each other. You can see that they're already like forming a really strong bond. So it's really nice to see.
Now that the Goeldis have successfully mixed together and they're getting along great, it's time to let them out into this main area. So this morning we have been getting ready to let them out and there's 3 slides up in the top there that their pens are currently connected to. So what we're going to do is open up those slides and give them access.
We just let the Goeldis out and it's gone really, really well. The female came out and looked out the tunnel like straight away.
Yeah.
And then she was calling to Lewis.
She's super confident, isn't she?
Really
so
confident.
I'm not surprised that it was her that came out first.
Yeah. And then she kind of, after, I don't know, it was maybe about half an hour of like looking and going back and looking.
Yeah.
She went across the rope and down into the tree branches. And he was a little bit more standoffish. He finally came out. And she was like checking out all these branches and going along the ropes and that. And then he finally followed and he hung back a little bit. But then eventually they just kind of came together a little bit more. They kept communicating, which was really cool.
Oh, that's really good.
And then she's like straight off and checking out the whole lot.
Oh, look at that. She's right next to the window,
The pygmies reacted pretty much how I thought they would, to be honest. They definitely clocked each other. They were vocalising. So the female Goeldi was doing like a long-range contact call. Which is to see if there's other monkeys in the area, and the pygmies were responding. So they definitely knew each other were there. The pygmies did shoot into the downstairs bedroom, as we call it, when she first came out, because I think they were like, whoa, what's that? But they've been gradually kind of coming out and seeing each other. And Goeldi's monkeys are actually known to cohabit in the same habitat as other species of marmosets and tamarins in the wild. So it's perfectly natural for there to be multiple species living in the same ranges. And because they have slightly different food sources as well, and like behavioural repertoires, they cohabit perfectly well together. They're not competing for the same resources or anything like that.
So the Goeldis have had access for about an hour and a half now, and I would say it was very, very successful. They made it to the female, especially. The females are a lot more dominant. They're generally the ones that are in charge in the wild. So she actually made it all the way down this viewing window here, much to the keeper's delight. So that was great to see. The male made it to about there. And that's okay, that's normal behavior. So we're really, really pleased with them. So we've just had Rainforest Lookout closed this morning just for a little bit of time, just to make sure everything went all right while they were settling down. I hope you enjoyed that update, and if you haven't done already, please do remember to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we shall see you next week.